Well, thank you all for joining and welcome to the Member Marketing and Partnership Perks Classroom Series. So we'll do a bit of a quick intro for Sophia and myself, and then we'll get into a review of digital marketing perks, and then our social media marketing perks, event perks, sponsorship perks, and then we have some case studies throughout the way as well, just to kind of show how fellow members are taking advantage of the things that we're offering. So we'll kick off with our intros. If you don't know me yet, I am Danielle. I own Main Street Business Strategies, which is a marketing practice for small and medium-sized businesses in Westchester and the Hudson Valley. Prior to this, I was actually in corporate advertising and PR, working on clients like Target and CBS and Hasbro. And then since the fall of 2023, I've been the president of the Rivertown Chamber of Commerce. So you've seen me a bunch, but want to do a formal intro, and I'll hand it over to Sophia.
Hey guys, I'm Sophia, social media manager for the chamber. But like Danielle, I have my own business too, called Bright Creative Studios. It's basically a boutique social media agency. And previously, I used to work for Tenuity, which is a basically one of the biggest agencies, digital marketing agencies, based in New York, but they have locations all over the U.S. So I did paid ads for them, and some of the brands I worked on was NFL, Rack Room Shoes, Beauty Counter, Revlon UK, SBL Beauty. And then I ended up doing organic social for small businesses. So one of my main accounts is Hudco and Rivertown Chamber, and I also do personal marketing for a large agency owner right now for her personal agency and her personal marketing too. So yeah, basically I pivoted to organic social because I really enjoy helping smaller to medium-sized businesses grow. And I think it's just an easy way to grow your business. When you do paid social, it takes a lot of money and a lot of time and effort. So what's really cool is organic social can be really amazing, and it's actually free. Obviously, you need to put the time into it. So it's pretty amazing once you can get the strategy down and grow your business that way. So it's great to be working with you guys.
Wonderful. So as I mentioned, we're going to start off with the digital marketing perks, but I just want to tee up how this is structured. So, the full deck, rather. So, we have each of these perks broken down by paid and unpaid opportunities, specifically for digital marketing and for social media marketing. When we get to event participation, sponsorships, member to member services, and collaborations, um, those are kind of cost dependent on like your participation and how you want to capitalize on some of those things. So digital marketing and social media marketing, there's a little bit more of like a straightforward cost or not cost affiliated. And then of course you can capitalize on top of that however you'd like. But to kick off with digital marketing, we have our email blasts, which reach 1.2K Westchester community members, residents, fellow chamber members, with your specific message. And so we kind of want to dive a little bit deeper into, yes, this perk is listed on the website, but what are the specifics? What are the numbers? And what are some use cases? So, like I mentioned, 1.2K Westchester County community members receive our newsletter monthly, and they'll also receive your email blast should you decide to share one. And it's great for businesses announcing a new service, a new product, a new deal or promotion, a location change, anything along those lines. And it's issued on the day of your choosing. You could fill out the form with all the required information. We have the link to the form here, so we can send around these slides after the fact. But also, as of just this morning, like hot off the presses at 9 a.m., you can now reserve this directly through your Membership Works profile, which we'll get into a little bit more later on. If you haven't already set up your Membership Works, or if you're a prospective member, it is a profile for your business specifically. You can log into your website. But as I mentioned, we'll get into that a little bit more later on. The second is the newsletter outreach, which is complimentary. We launched this in 2024. You can list your newsletter in the Chamber's monthly newsletter that again goes to that same 1.2K residents, community members, business owners, as just another avenue for expanding your subscriber list. I mean, I think one of the hardest things for all of us, to be doing on top of running our own business is expanding our reach, expanding and reaching new potential clients or partners through your newsletter. And so just finding other ways to list your newsletter in places where it can expand that reach is important. And so we wanted to provide that option for everybody. And like I mentioned, that list of newsletters are included in our monthly newsletter. And then the last is our discount guide, which is a member to member service and perk, rather. It is complimentary as well. And basically, you'd provide your fellow chamber members with a discount code for a promo offer or whatever it may be. Um, and that'll be listed in our members only discount guide through our members only monthly newsletter. So we have a newsletter that goes out to just members and then a newsletter that goes out to the full community member list, as I mentioned earlier. And then you can also list your offering on your membership works profile, which again, I can get into a little bit later on. But if you are offering something, there is a section within membership works that allows you to share what that discount is to your fellow members. Really, this is just about like building community and building brand affiliation with members and building that trust with one another. Plus, like I think one of the key aspects of joining a chamber of commerce is understanding that like you are building relationships across villages, specifically with the river towns. Yes, we cover Hastings, Dobbs, Irvington, and Ardsley formally, but we do have members outside of those four villages. I don't know the exact percentage for this year, but last year it was growing a ton in terms of members outside of those four villages. And so it's just another way to get exposure and build relationships with fellow business owners who are also shoppers, in our villages. So that's our digital marketing perks. We're going to get into a little bit more about the digital marketing perks that come with our events and member to member services, but these are just the straightforward ones that you can opt into immediately today. Um, and if you have any questions, like I said, feel free to add them to the chat. We can go through them later on. Otherwise, we'll get into our social media marketing perks with Sophia.
Okay, so this is our social media marketing perks. So we have an Instagram feed feature, which is essentially being on the Instagram feed on the grid, which is different than stories. So with members, you would need to send in your high quality images for carousels. That does really well. If you just send one or two images, that's okay. But I've noticed it does a lot better if you send quite a few. Like maybe if you could send like even 4 to 8 images would be wonderful. Or you can do a reel as well. And that sizing also needs to be 10 by 80 pixels or 19 by 20 pixels tall. So one thing that I would like to share with everyone too is that the sizing really counts for Instagram. So you really want to kind of give the right images and reel sizes because if not, it won't perform as well. So that was just something I wanted to share with everyone because I know it can be kind of challenging with all these little small details with social media, but it makes a huge difference. And then if you can provide a caption with a strong call to action and accompany with the link that you want your landing page to go on. So say you have a promo on your website, that you really want to promote and you have some pictures correlated that you're sending in or reel. The whole point of social media essentially is to get it onto the next big landing page because you want to get that traffic on your website. They want people to read more about you and to show exactly what you're promoting in more detail. Um, and then you can just reserve your spot through membership works if you're interested in doing the Instagram feed feature. So you can take advantage of that anytime at your leisure too. You would just correlate with us and then I would schedule a posting for you guys. And then Instagram takeover stories is complimentary. So you can basically send over quite a few of your Instagram stories. I would say maybe about like 6 to 8 would be great. So that you can really take advantage of the Instagram stories feature. I would also recommend doing videos too. If you have reels is really great or really nice photos. And then the same concept for stories is a nine, I'm sorry, the 1080 pixels by 1920 pixels tall. So it's the same as a real size as well, that kind of long, narrow size of your phone. Um, and then that's what I would recommend sending in. And then this would be ideal for educating your audience, even if you're out of town too, actually is a great point because, say you're busy and you're on vacation, but then we can advertise for you, which is wonderful, and, still get your exposure. So then when you're back from your vacation, you can have all these inquiries, in your DMs or emails. And also You can, so you would just need to provide all those images and videos for us. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You would just email us at info@Rivertown Chamber to secure your date. And then I would get that information and schedule it with you on a correlating time. And then this also is related to stories. So Instagram posts reshared in Chamber short stories. So I know some of you guys have been doing that. So basically, if you're, just on your social media day to day, you can just tag us in your stories and then I just repost them for you. You can pretty much do that. There's not really a limited amount of stories on that. So that's a great way to get more reach on your Instagram as you're doing your own Instagram as well.
Yeah, and I also just want to chime in quickly too for the Instagram feed feature and the Instagram stories takeover. Obviously, what that means is, you're featuring your business specifically on the chamber's profile, right? So we are reaching 3.2 of our followers. And it's 100% share of voice, which means that like you will not be posted alongside other chamber news for that day, let's say. Like if we have an Instagram feed feature, we actually just did one for Ludi Cafe on Saturday. They were promoting their 1 year anniversary. We make sure that that full day is reserved for you so that there's not other content coming from the chamber that, like stuffs it down in the feed or anything along those lines. Same thing with the Instagram stories takeover. As a complimentary feature, it's a one full day takeover and you have full ownership of the chamber stories for that day. Without the interruption of the other posts that we're typically pushing to stories like what Sophia was just mentioning with resharing the chamber story. So if other members are tagging us in things that day that we are running one of your Instagram stories takeovers, we'll reserve those reshares and stories for the next day so that you again have that like fluid 100% share of voice on our Instagram feed stories feed. So just wanted to call that out that it's basically like another avenue for your business to have a full day of exposure the same way that you'd operate your own Instagram account. Cool. And then we can get into our event perks. Um, so what's unique about the Rivertowns Chamber is the number of and the different types of events that we host throughout the year. Um, you know, both for the community and for our members only. So we have community events and then chamber member only events. And we're always sending out sign up and participation links so that our members can um, participate in any specific way that they want. What we wanted to just go through with this piece in particular is just the perks of participating. Um, so really the whole purpose of this is to generate exposure for your business with a tuned in audience at a low cost. That obviously varies depending on what, again, your participation value will be, and without the headache of planning your own event. It's like taking advantage of chamber planning and coordinating on your behalf. So you sign up for participation and activate in a way that best fits your business, whether that's an in-store activation, online, or if possible at the event itself. We have some examples on the left-hand side actually from last year's Halloween block party. It was the first one that we hosted for the chamber. It took place in Irvington at the Aqueduct parking lot across the street from the Main Street School. And then we also brought attendees over to the Rivertown's Playhouse Backyard Theater for a performance. And we had about 17 to 20 members reserve a space, reserve a parking spot, really, at this block party. It was first come, first serve because we were only allowed a certain amount of space within that parking lot. This year, we're expanding it, hopefully, and can open it up to more people, to more members. But that was a hand raisers event, right? So a member could operate their booth or their location or their spot in any way that they wanted, depending on like what they could afford. Um, so that would be an example of, hosting and doing something at an event itself that, costs vary depending on what you're doing. You can also offer discounts or promos during the event window. So if you can't, for any reason, do an activation at the event or online or at the event itself, take advantage of the fact that there are eyeballs on this type of event or on any of the events that we're hosting by offering a discount or a promotion during the event window so it correlates timing wise. um, and then also releasing new products, service drops in coordination with the event, or providing your expertise as a host or panelist. This really comes into play when we're thinking about our women's socials. We typically have a panel or experts hosting little workshops or things along those lines. So again, that might be a lower cost option if you would like to provide your expertise given the umbrella or the topic that we are covering for that specific women's social. This year's events included shop local campaigns, so we can get into the summer shop local event that we're hosting this July. We also have one that runs every year. It's the eighth or ninth year doing our shop local campaign in November and December. We also are running a gala this year, which is the first time the Chamber is hosting a gala. For the past 2 years, we've had a golf open in partnership with a local Rivertowns charity. This year, we wanted to pivot to go toward an event that more of our members could participate in. We understood that, members couldn't necessarily shut down the shop for the day or shut down work for the day to play golf. So we wanted to provide another option for members to participate in a large event scale like that without having to take the full day. It's going to be an evening event for about like 2 hours. We're benefiting the Rivertowns libraries as well as the chamber. And there are a bunch of different activations and things you can participate in as a member, as well as just attending the event. We're going to do our Halloween block party again this year, which was our first ever sold out event for the chamber, which was wonderful. And then we have our chamber classroom series. So another way to showcase your expertise in a business one-on-one format. So you can teach, fellow members, as it is a member only service, something about your business, how you're an expert in that space, and educating, our fellow members about something that you're passionate about. Uh, we have a couple of examples that we wanted to show you guys in terms of like participating in our events. As I mentioned, we have our Summer Shop Local campaign. I could just give a quick overview of what that campaign is, and I'll hand it over to Sophia to walk through this data. But basically, our Summer Shop Local event, if you haven't heard me say this before, has replaced our Taste Local event that we had been running for about 4 or 5 years. We knew that Taste Local, which was an event specifically for our bars, cafes, restaurants, specialty goods shops, in November for a few years, and then we moved it to May. It was a heavy cost for a lot of our members to provide a free food or snack or beverage for like 80 to 100 attendees of that event. It included, the cost of that specific good, as well as staffing for the day and just, keeping track of everything that's going on for an 8 hour window. So what we wanted to do is expand the opportunity for more of our member verticals to participate in an event like this without putting the burden on the members to provide something for free. So instead, we're offering a second Shop Local campaign that's running through July. We sent out an email, and also mentioned it at many of our events, asking members to sign up if they were able and offer a promo or a discount for the month of July for all of our community members to take advantage of. So really just like, especially in this economy, just showcase how, small businesses are still trying to find ways to support our community members and support one another and support other downtowns, and also just showcase how the Rivertowns and Westchester County is really a full community and not so siloed. You can get so many different things from so many different types of businesses without going to like a big box retailer or something along those lines. So we have about 13 members that ended up signing up for this campaign. And we offered our marketing services to promote their promo offering or discount. So what we ended up doing was having Sophia go to each of these locations, each of our member businesses, and film content for them for free. And then we're running a full 2 month campaign. It started June 1st and it's running through July 31st, just promoting exclusively these 13 businesses and their promo and offering, and showcasing the community how they could take advantage of whatever the discount or offer was. So we want to show you two examples of best performing content. And we're not done with the content yet. It's only June 20th. Like I mentioned, it's running through the 31st, but just how businesses took advantage of the services that we were providing. So the first is for Eyes on Hudson, whose reel went live last week, middle of last week, I believe. But Sophia can go through quickly their performance so far.
Yep. So I did a reel for Eyes on Hudson, and they received I'm sorry, 522 views, three comments, three saves, and 50% of viewers were non-followers of the chamber, which is great. So that means that people who are new customers essentially and maybe a little outside of the community, they were also viewing. Caitlin, the owner of Eyes on Hudson, she was really busy that day. She had a lot of appointments back to back. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to film her, which was okay. We had a plan B option, which was basically taking nice clips inside the store. And also, I did a voiceover for her, and she also provided us with her promo in which she was wanting to promote. So I added that in the caption and also in the voiceover as well. So that one actually did really well. And then also, um, a huge thing that really makes a huge difference is planning ahead. So, Danielle, myself, and Regina, we all emailed everyone in advance, kind of let everybody know on board, getting on board what it was going to look like, and just kind of having that knowledge from all the business owners and being prepared so that when I do come in, they're ready with either the plan A or the plan B option. The plan A option was to speak um, into the camera. The owner basically would be the one to speak about the promotion and any nitbits they would like to share about their store. But it's understandable that things get a little hectic, so that's why we did the plan B option, and this one still did pretty well.
But yeah, in terms
Um,
of performance, this reel was just went live last week. It's still growing in terms of views. I think the biggest thing to take away from this, as Sophia has mentioned, the saves and the number of new people we're reaching on your behalf is crucial. If you're looking to expand your reach, or you're looking to entice people with a product or service, a discount, or whatever it may be. The chamber is just another avenue for that. And three saves, that typically means that people are interested in whatever we're saying and will save it for later to go back to. And reaching 50% of viewers that were non-followers of the chamber's IG, again, like it just kind of showcases um, the potential reach for your business. This campaign in specifically, is not going to be run the same way our Shop Local campaign in November, December will be run. But this was a hand raiser's effort. So like this was something that every business could have taken part in. Granted, I understand that providing a promo or discount is not, feasible for everyone at this exact moment. So we're aware of that. But just one example of a way to, participate in an event that can garner new customers through the chamber. And then we have another example from Galley 49 as well, which they are also participating in Summer Shop Local.
you guys. So this
Let's
is
see.
Steve. He's great. He's a lot of fun. So we did his reel. He did the voice to camera essentially, which we were really encouraging because I've seen this a million times over with a lot of other clients I have too. If you speak, if the owners, speak face to camera, it does so much better. It's great. So I know it can be a little bit challenging, but once you get used to it, it's fun and it really helps a lot. So Steve's reel for Galley 49. His shop is in Irvington. It's a really beautiful store. He received 668 views, four comments, and he had a whopping 11 shares, which was amazing. And 62% of viewers were non-followers as well, which is really amazing too. The 11 shares is just phenomenal because the cool thing about shares, you can share it to yourself, but you can also share it with friends. So say somebody thinks that they have furniture that they could buy from Steve, your friend can share it to another person too, and then that just keeps growing. And that person could not know Steve's store at all, which is really cool. Um, so yes, he was fully prepared. in person to like we emailed him and we coordinated and I popped into his store. He was ready to, speak face to camera. And also something that I notice is we can all network in person, which I strongly encourage. I think it makes a huge difference. But social media essentially is another way to kind of like be that friendly reminder. We're all kind of in our houses, away from everybody, unless we see everybody at the coffee shop, which I know I do all the time. But it's just like a friendly reminder, like, oh my gosh, I love Steve. Like, why wouldn't I buy from him when you're on Instagram? It just gives you that extra push and that, making it fun, especially and showing the visuals. It's just like that easy push without, obviously being too salesy. Um, so yeah, it was wonderful that he was able to do the face to cam video and, just essentially, I would recommend just, if you guys are able to participate, just being able to be prepared and show up so I can, tag team with you because obviously, we can do the best that we can, but we also need your guys' expertise in sharing, your business the best. So we need you guys to also kind of meet us halfway a little bit with, sharing your promotion, what you would like to speak about. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for Steve's reel.
Awesome. Yeah. So now we can get into a little bit more just to kind of round out our event perks. Um, Networking during the general chamber meeting. So going to a general chamber meeting is complimentary for members. Um, we've been seeing wonderful attendance over the past couple of years. So just kind of want to throw a number in there on average. You can meet up to 35 plus people. It's a mix of members, non-members, local government, and representatives per meeting. Um, and we just really encourage members to come with a plan of action. Bring your call to action to the meeting. Yes, it's easy to just go up to the same people that you typically see or that you know, and not necessarily utilize these events as a potential, new client opportunity. But like I said, every member is also a community member who's shopping and thinking about themselves and their families um, and the services and products that they'll need, especially if you are a B2B type of business. I mean, this is just an easy win. But you can offer, we want to just give some examples of things, what that we mean by bring your call to action to the meeting. So offer a limited time only consultation to members that are attending this event, suggest in-shop meetings with potential partners, provide a discount to all attendees if that's something that you're able to do, schedule a meet and greet or a lunch and learn session with people that you're meeting, and obviously handing out your card. I think that sometimes we get like lost in the conversation a little bit and don't necessarily have our cards ready or don't necessarily have like the next step or the future facing thought in mind. It's easy to kind of get distracted by the next person that you're going to start chatting with, but just like keeping that thought in the back of your head about like this is what I want to walk away with is important. And then we also wanted to, you know, share that like you can share your news updates about your business during the open Q&A portion at the end of the agenda. So typically, we'll do 45 minutes or so of networking, which is when, like I mentioned, you bring your call to action to the meeting and chat with everybody. And then I or other presidents or VPs will go through the agenda where we're talking about all the different events and marketing opportunities and things of that nature. And then at the end, we've been opening it up to any questions or any thoughts or things that people would like to share. We don't typically get too much from people, and so we want to encourage everyone to just share some news. Last time, actually, Kim Sevilla from um, a member of ours, she shared that she recently became an MWBE certified business, which is wonderful. Like share that news with people. I know that Melissa Ponzi Ribi also just registered her A design business as a trademark, and she had just gotten her certification. So sharing that type of news, but it doesn't have to be anything, as groundbreaking as that. It could be really anything. You've changed your hours or anything along those lines, but just you have a room full of engaged people to just share a little bit of information. Um, And then the last part is that we just encourage members to take photos and tag the chamber so that it can be shared in fellow member stories and it can be shared on our Instagram stories. It just kind of builds the community. I think that community aspect is, I mean, the number one piece of and focus of the chamber. So we just kind of want to encourage and remind people to continue to do that as they attend this event and these types of member meetings, but every type of event. And then we can move into sponsorships. So, as I mentioned, event participation cost dependent on how you want to affiliate your business with the event timing or window or day and place. Sponsorships are a paid opportunity. We have different tiers, but for the first, we wanted to just go through what a general chamber meeting event and in-kind sponsorships offer. So, event sponsors are offered as a paid opportunity. I believe it's $150. A thank you note on social and also on our webpage. But then you are also offered a 2 to 3 minute like speaking window at the start of the agenda. So just after our networking, you can, we introduced you and your business, and then you can come up and share a little bit of information about who you are and what you do. And then our in-kind sponsorships are exactly that. You are offering a product or service related to the event as an in-kind sponsor. Um, for all of these, we just again want to remind everyone to bring your call to action to the meeting. Come with something you want attendees to walk away with, a business card, limited time offers, meeting times, samples. We've had sponsors in the past as part of their side business, bring samples of the cookies that they're launching locally, which was so well received and a great talking point for our event sponsors. We've had photographers as in-kind sponsors. It can really run the gamut. But we just kind of wanted to highlight the few perks that come with being a general chamber meeting sponsor. And then we'll get into sponsorships for our community events. So these are our fundraisers, shop local, Halloween, holiday. Like I mentioned, there are different tiers. We tried to adjust them over the past couple of years so that they're a little bit more approachable and fluid. So like there's never going to be anything that like, except for our gala where, we are trying to raise money for 5 beneficiaries. The sponsorship tiers are a little bit higher than just $300. But we do have some that are uh, more affordable for our members. But generally speaking, for our community event sponsors, we have our presenting sponsor, which is the maximum amount of exposure your brand can get across digital, social, and day of event materials like the banners and welcome signs. So what we want to call out here is just take advantage of the assets the chamber creates and shares for the event by deploying them yourself as well. So either myself or Sophia, our event manager, is putting together content and the flyers essentially for these events. And we're always tagging our members. We're always sending out the flyers via email so that you can hang up and shop. Sometimes we're printing them out for you when we're going to your place of business, whether it's a brick and mortar or if we're scheduling time with you to meet in a specific space, if you, work out of your home like I do, so that you have those materials for your own promotion. So take advantage of those assets that are being created for you because not everyone is a social media manager, and I am not. So I love when I can get free content. The second is reposting the social content that we tag you in. That's a quick, easy thing. We'll typically tag participating members and the sponsors in our content. And then all you have to do, especially on Instagram, which I think most of us can agree is where we're focusing our efforts, is head to the little messaging window and then reshare to your stories. But we're also suggesting that you send your own emails and add to your own website and your own events calendar that you are participating in this event. We want members to, and you are sponsoring this event rather, we want members to, kind of share with their own communities who are already devoted to them. Like, hey, I'm participating in something as well as doing my own thing in shop. So, we'd love to see you at XYZ event that the chamber is hosting or whatever the case may be. And then the last is providing your own marketing materials to be displayed at the check-in for the event, along with the clear call to action, like I mentioned, for attendees to take. That welcome moment is a marketing opportunity for you all, whoever is sponsoring as a presenting sponsor. And so you want to get creative with how you want to communicate, your message and your business. Yes, you can just put out a flyer and that's totally fine. But if there's some sort of creative way of doing it, I would suggest doing it. And if you ever need help brainstorming, we can always chat. And then the second tier is our digital sponsorship, which allows you to be featured on the website and also an email. And then our social sponsorship, which is $75, which means that you'll be featured as a sponsor on social specifically. Again, we're just asking that you repost the content we tag you in, share with your own community that you're a sponsor via social media, email, and your website. Get them to come to the event to see you specifically. We just want to make sure that you feel you're getting the most out of the sponsorship, basically. And then the last is the in-kind sponsor, which I mentioned before. Showcase what your business provides or sells by offering it as an in-kind service. Be ready to share your business details with attendees. Like even if you're providing a service like photography for an event, you could still chat with the attendees. You could still chat with the other members and sponsors that are there to just share what your business is about. Um, and then repost the content that we tag you in. We're always just going to kind of shout that from the rooftops. Um, but those are some of our paid sponsorships, as well as the things that you can do yourself that are free that come with the sponsorship tiers. So we can move into, I just have a couple of examples, I think is the next slide. Yeah. Of what sponsorships can look like. So the top is just our last two sponsors from our general chamber meeting. We had ARC Westchester and also Symphony Medical. They were our event sponsors that also had speaking moments at the beginning of the meeting. Just below that is some content from our Golf Open. We had on course activations like what we had for One Hope Wines. They set up a table so that golfers could, taste as they were heading to the next hole. And then we also had, our premier event sponsors that were featured on the welcome banners and things of that nature. And then on the far right is the creative that we created, content we created rather, for our summer shop local, featuring our premier sponsor, Vio Med Spa. It was a first come, first serve sponsorship opportunity. They took advantage of being the sole sponsor for about I would say 15 pieces of content on social, taking the premier spot on the website about the Shop Local campaign. And they are also able to get their own feed post during the July window as well. Um, so just kind of want to show some varying degrees of sponsorship options. And then we can move into the next slide. Quickly going over sponsorships for our member specific events. So granted, women's socials are open to non-members as well, but our sponsorship tiers are actually they're the same as the community events, presenting at 300, digital at 150, social at 75, and then in kind. All of the same rules apply in terms of what you can get out of those sponsorships outside of the monetary value of it. If you are a host, presenter, or panelist, we're just brainstorming doing some publicity of your own to get your audience attending and involved. If you have a dedicated audience, you have dedicated customers that want to see you in different capacities, they can come to these types of events. Granted, member appreciation event is a member only event, so unless your customer is a member, you can't, but otherwise you can. Um, and then marketing materials. The chamber creates shareable assets for these events. Again, we're putting in the time and effort to create stuff on your behalf. So, again, it's an easy win for you to print the flyers for your own shop, add to your events calendar on your website, include in your newsletter or email blasts. And then also, if you are brick and mortar and there is a flyer that you can either print out yourself or that we've printed out for you, you can, have that at point of sale or add to the shopping bags in the weeks leading up so that people are reminded and have that in their hands in advance. And then I think we have a couple of bits on the next slide about our member to member perks. Yeah. So, as I mentioned at the beginning, we have launched a platform for our members called Membership Works. It's basically your own profile within the Rivertowns Chamber website. So historically, your business has been listed on our directory, and any info you wanted to add to your business was emailed over to us, and then we'd have to go in and update it. Now we have the option of everyone having their own profile. You can log in, you keep your business profile updated with your latest contact details, business info, images, and we're suggesting to do this on a regular basis. Your business page on the chamber website increases exposure on search platforms. It's typically your website, your social medias, and then the other places that your business is listed. And the chamber is one of those premier places. So if you are participating in Shop Local, add your discount to your profile. So it's just in more than one place. It's not just on social, it's not just on your own website, it's not just in our emails, but it's also out on Google search. Um, and then utilize the one-to-one emailing within your portal for easy communication with fellow business owners. If you want to partner with someone on something, or you want to ask a question, or you wanted a new vendor for your business, or whatever it may be, it's an easy way to just communicate amongst yourselves. Yes, it goes to email inboxes, but you don't have to go through like searching for their contact information and not knowing if it's the right contact person or whatever it is. It's typically the business owner or the primary contact that we have listed as part of the chamber. And then we have our in-store product and service to service collaborations. So this is basically just partnering with fellow members across industries and villages to build brand affinity, recognition, and exposure. This is not something official that the chamber is, hosting on your behalf. This is just something that you could take advantage of as a chamber member. So it's brainstorming potential ideas with fellow members during general chamber meetings, village chats, or one-to-one outside of chamber events. Members tend to have a stronger affiliation with each other and a greater likelihood of collaborating than non-member businesses. So we just kind of wanted to remind you that like all of these member businesses are here to partner and build that community and expose one another to each other's audiences. That's primarily what partnerships are for. That's what I'm always talking with my clients about when I'm doing B2B partnership marketing opportunities with them. The number one reason you do a partnership is because a fellow business has a primary audience that you want to capture. So take advantage of that through the chamber. And then we also are suggesting, members to do some social media crossovers. Consider partnering on social media campaigns with fellow business owners to expand reach. As we mentioned, some of these businesses participating in Shop Local are capturing audiences way beyond our 3.2 followers, K followers. There are people outside of just the river towns and Westchester County that are seeing these perks and learning about these new businesses. So we suggest doing that amongst yourselves as well and promote collaborations and partnerships through collab tagging on Instagram, which I know Sophia has gone through in a previous social media one-on-one classroom series. But if you have any questions on that, let us know. There are also help links from Instagram specifically on how to collab tag. But it's basically the option of allowing one post to show up on both your feed and another business's feed on the same day. Um, and then we wanted to show quickly, I won't go into too much detail for each of these just because we're wrapping up on time and I want to leave some time for a Q&A, but the next slide, next couple of slides actually are just some case studies. So candidly and transparently, I work with Lightmere as a client, and also they were a member of the chamber as well as Galley 49 that we've mentioned in Savvy Sips. So they did a collaboration last year called the Irvington Design Collective. It was held at Galley 49. But they got to know each other through the chamber. And it was these three businesses that put on an event together. We featured light mirrors that were custom created for Galley 49. And then we set up little vignettes basically of, a living room scene, an office scene, a foyer scene that featured Galley 49 furniture and also light mirrors. And then we served Savvy Sip wines. She also typed up a couple of, she handed over some blurbs about the wine and her expertise on the wine. So we were able to feature that prominently at the buffet table. So again, just how this was not sponsored by the chamber, but they got to know each other through the chamber events. And that's how this type of collaboration happened. And then I'm running through this quickly. just because of timing, but feel free to ask any questions about this. The next is an example that we've seen through Climbing Wolf, the pod, Luddy and the pod, and then Luddy and Bloomy Cheese. You know, again, they're businesses across villages, across different industries, but they take advantage of the fact that they can feature each other in their places of business, whether if it's for an event or if it's for selling in multiple locations. But primarily, they're showcasing how they can feature each other on social media and showcase that they are in other placements so that their customers can check out another new business if they haven't already. Um, and then I think that might be it for event partnerships and collaborations, but then we wanted to show some examples of social media crossovers and collab tagging examples. So, again, not sponsored by the Chamber, but Aesthetics by KM, The Lark, and Cozy and the Crib are all members of the Chamber, and they've held an event in the past collectively, and they made sure to collab tag each of their businesses in the same reels so that the same content gets even more exposure, 3 times the exposure through socials. And then you always see Hudco and Picture Book kind of doing the collab tagging thing as well, because Picture Book is based out of Hudco, and it just builds that reach and that engagement. Okay, I think that's it for our examples and case studies. But wanted to open it up for any questions. I don't know if anything came through the chat. If anyone has any questions that they think of even after this, feel free to email us. If you have any marketing or social media services that you would like, for marketing myself and for social media, Sophia. But I'll let you guys open up the floor if there are any questions or thoughts. Sherry.
Hi, that was
Hi.
great. Thank you so much. So for those, if there's anyone on here who doesn't know who I am, I work for the county executive as the Director of Policy and Programs for Small Business in the Chambers of Commerce. So I work with all the chambers. And I just want to give a plug to chamber membership in general. So everything you said is exactly true. But I also think one of the very valuable things about being a member of the chamber is the getting the information that you need. And this was never more prevalent than it was during COVID. When in my capacity, I was sending out sometimes 3 emails a day as things were changing. And I have definitely seen that businesses who are members of the chambers not only got the information they needed, they got the help that they needed because they had a direct line to the county or to the state or to, and they fared better through those things. So in a lot of cases, information is power. There's a lot that the county does, and there are a lot of programs out there that could be helpful to your business. And I send that all out to the chambers on a regular basis. I can't get to every business owner, but knowing that the chambers are sending it out. So some of it is the chamber members are really gonna be the first to learn about things that even go beyond what the chamber does, but it's the connection to other valuable resources.
Awesome. Yeah, I actually just attended a FEMA and Chambers of Commerce meeting, just learning about how other chambers are helping with emergency response and stuff like that, which is really important. So yeah, it's a great point. It's another avenue for getting the crucial information you need locally and also countywide. The next Chamber Classroom series will be in September. If you are interested in hosting one of these, let us know. We can schedule you for sometime later this year or next. We're hoping to continue these monthly into 2020. Oh my gosh, six. But otherwise, yeah, reach out with any questions. But it was great having you all. Oh, Tara, did you want to jump in?
I'm
Yeah.
so sorry. Can I just say a quick hello to everybody, introduce myself? This is my first meeting. My name is Tara Hashamu. I'm the owner of VO Med Spa. And I just wanted to say hi. Yesterday, Jenna came into the spa, so I met her in person yesterday. And I just want to say that like it's my first business. And this is absolutely amazing. I mean, what a gift this is to the community, honestly, and business owners. It feels like such a warm welcome. So this is definitely going to make it easier, not easy to run a business, obviously, but, I definitely feel supported for sure. And I think it's a fantastic thing that the community has. So I just wanted to, put that out there. And it's
Thank
nice to
you
see
so much.
Welcome,
everybody.
welcome to Dobbs Ferry. And
Welcome.
Thank
I
you.
will be
It's,
stopping by for a facial because I'm way
oh,
overdue.
please do. We're here. We open officially Thursday, June 26th. So we're in the spa, doing all the things, trainings, and just getting organized for everybody. So we're super excited.
Great.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Tara, for jumping in.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
and I was just going
Yeah.
to mention your ribbon cutting too. So, um,
Yeah, that's
wonderful.
going to be for our grand opening, which happens like in 3 to 6 months out from our soft opening, which is on Thursday. That's
Awesome.
all the ribbon
Awesome.
cutting. So yeah, but it's
Awesome.
exciting.
Congratulations. Yeah,
Thank
congratulations
you
and
so
welcome.
much. Thank you.
Yeah, perfect. All right. Thanks, everyone. If you have any questions, like I said, feel free to reach out, but it was great having you all.
Thanks
Have a
for
good
Thank you so
day.
joining,
much.
guys.